and welcome to the Lao Jiaos Podcast. This is where we bring you unfiltered and unapologetic take on the news, current affairs, and all the things people pretend to understand. I'm your host, Yong, and with me is fellow Lao Jiao, Yang. How are you doing?
Woo! Today is one of those days that it's really fucking warm. We're recording this.
Fuck, I tell you, I go out for lunch. It's madness at the temperature.
Yeah, today is 19th of April. 11:30 is when we're recording this, and it's still so fucking warm. I walked out of the shower and I'm already sweating. My God, this weather has got to stop. But then again, if we say, like April, they say it'll be a bit more rainy. And after it's like, hey, a bit more rain. Okay. After it starts to rain, after it's damn humid, and we're all like, it's so humid. It's so uncomfortable. Give me more heat. So as Singaporeans, we're never happy about the weather. So
I have instances where I woke up like in the middle of the night. Then because I wear shorts, right, the leg is like damn sticky. And then like, very hard to sleep.
So at most I on the aircon for about an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours max, cool the room down while I watch some shows and everything, relax a bit. Then after I turn off the aircon. But I think on nights like this, I'm actually have to run the aircon the whole night because it's just that hot.
Yeah. Speaking about hot, do you see the very hot Justin Bieber making a comeback at Coachella recently?
Well, it looks like he was having a glorified, a karaoke session with a laptop and his old YouTube videos.
You're right in saying that, people raise questions about it and then a lot of people are like, what the hell is this? Actually, right, as we are recording this, right, second weekend's performance was the one that actually broke the internet because halfway through his performance of the One Less Lonely Girl, he actually brought up superfan Billie Eilish. She is a super fan of Justin Bieber, and then Bieber brought her on and sang to her, which is like dream come true or whatnot. So they've been friends for very, very long. But it's just that this was, I don't know, maybe a dream come true for her.
I know celebrities are humans just like all of us. But Billie Eilish.
Bieber.
Not just a fan, a super fan of Justin Bieber. I still remember, all those years ago when Bieber was still relatively, I won't say new, but still fresh face. Then he came to Singapore. I think this was just a few years before 2010 or a few years after 2010. Yeah. Then he sang the One Less Lonely Girl to some girl in the Singapore indoor stadium. Plucked from the crowd. Wow, they didn't go nuts. They went feral, they hunted. This is the time before TikTok and Instagram and all that shit. I think now it's mostly still Facebook. They went feral. They hunted that girl down. They even I think they found her mom's workplace, her mom's name, her mom don't know what. And they said, only reason Bieber picked her is because her mom got some connections and this and that and that and this. It was like, whoa, ladies, chill.
That was far-fetched.
Yeah, that was far-fetched. And then Newspaper did an interview with her and everything else. And then I think a few years after, they actually tracked her down again.
I'm actually quite surprised that Billie Eilish is a fan of Justin Bieber. And I'm happy for her that, because everyone have dreams and everyone have idols, right? And, to have the kind of moment, I think it's something very surreal for all of us. I think on the other hand, I was also very glad to see Bieber performing again and looking normal. His health, his everything has been very public. Over the years, it's just great to see him back on stage, like a normal person and all this, and, actually being able to perform and being able to function like a normal human being. Okay, so my segment of the week.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, so my segment of the week, this thing is something that I've learned when I finished the book called The Curious History of Sex. The vibrator, right, called the magic wand. Have you seen the vibrator called the magic wand?
The Hitachi one, right?
Yes. Okay. So do you know that the Hitachi magic wand, right? At first, it was really created just for massage purposes.
Yep, I am very aware, and I'm also very interested to see the kind of image that my dad will flash on screen.
Correct. So the interesting thing was that it was created for massage purposes, but this sex therapist, right, was the first one advised people and firm herself. I don't know whether she firmed herself, but she was the one that actively promoted using it to help women reach orgasm. Okay, and then it became such a big thing, right, and it sold so well, right, that the overseas distributor went back to the Japanese company to produce this to ask for more, right? But the Japanese company, right, being Japanese companies that value their reputation a lot, they were actually threatening to take it off the market because this was not what they wanted it to be associated with, So yeah. For a good 2 years, 2009 and 2010, right, it was taken off the market because they couldn't reach an agreement.
I've heard of this story before that
yes.
Hitachi was actually very angry that people were not using it to massage wherever else in the body, instead going down there to down south.
Correct. Only came back into the market after Hitachi and the overseas distributors reached an agreement to say, okay, we can sell it under the name Magic Wand, but you cannot put Hitachi's name under it. I didn't know, some things can appear out of this kind of like unintended consequences.
I don't know. I find the Japanese, they are weirdly prudish in certain aspects, but in other aspects, they are fairly liberal. You go into any convenience store, any bookstore, and they are selling out in the open, loud and proud, magazines with naked women on the cover, right next to the magazine about home goods and cooking.
So, before we get into our episode, a word from our sponsor. This week's episode of the Chit Chatter is brought to you by our friends at CityMusic, your one-stop shop for all things music and podcast related right here in Singapore. Whether you're picking out your first instrument, upgrading your setup, or starting a podcast, CityMusic has you covered from guitars, keyboards and amps, microphones, and full podcast setups, cameras, lighting, and streaming gear. Everything you need to create, record, and perform at the highest level is all in one place. They also carry a wide range of microphones for every budget. Some of us at the Chit Chatter even use the Zoom ZDM1, a solid podcast mic that delivers great quality and nearly half the price of many popular options. If you're looking to start your own music or podcast journey, be sure to check out CityMusic's website or head down to their store today. A big thanks to our friends at CityMusic for supporting the Chit Chatter. And now, back to the episode. Okay, so the first news is about the new Army PES system that is taking place in 2027. It's very important to all our young male listeners out there because Singapore's SAF and Home Team will introduce a refreshed medical classification system from October 2027 for SAF enlistees and November 2027 for Home Team enlistees. Now, instead of the old PES style grouping, recruits will now be placed into one of three basic training programs based on their medical examinations. Now, the three programs differ mainly in training intensity and medical flexibility. Program 1 is the full 17-week BMT route with IPPT, the SOC, road march and field training. Program 2 is a roughly 9-week version with calibrated physical training and adjusted field activities. And Program 3 is also 9 weeks, but focus on basic soldiering fundamentals for those with more significant medical limitations and could open up about 1,200 additional deployment opportunities a year. Now, I know that Nanyang, you're going to have a lot of opinions on this. So what are your initial thoughts when you saw this on the news?
Actually, I think it's good because, okay, like take me, for example. When I enlisted, my weight was above BP, apparently too high. My BMI was above 40, yeah, 太肥. But physically, I was fit. I had no health issues, nothing besides an old back injury. That one doesn't really matter. In this instance, maybe under this new PES classification, I could be like, I don't know, put into the middle program instead of the third program. I mean, I did enjoy my time in NS, but I just sometimes, there's always part of me that wished I could have done more. So
I would say a lot of older generation keep complaining that our NS has been watered down more and more, and then now we care so much about our brittle generation, right? So do you worry that this new classification status will mean that the boys are being trained not to become men and like that will compromise the whole defense situation of Singapore as a whole?
I think the older generation, they are still too used to eating food with sand in it in the cookhouse that somehow affects their mental function. I think moving forward, we had to adjust to the times, treat recruits with how do I put this? A bit more with a bit more humanity. I don't think this whole PES thing will affect the quality of our recruits.
We are the victim of our own success in the sense that we haven't really fought a war before. And you can't say that anybody
technically, but yeah, I get what you mean.
I mean, yeah, that one is like everybody stand by only, nothing actually really happened. So I feel that we do not have enough combat experience to say that we are ready for a war in that sense. The recruits are getting younger and younger. They value different things now. And then, the children getting less and less. Now, last time, 5, 6 boys for you to take to NS, not a rare thing to see. But nowadays, like, one is like 心头肉like that, you want to send them in. Some of these systems have to be adapted to satisfy both sides. One on Singapore's fund for defense, and then the other one to make sure that these people survive enough to come out and still lead a normal life. Because that is the harsh reality of what Singapore is.
What you just said about we've never been in an actual war. I've read this somewhere before. And the statement was Singaporeans are not ready for the sight of coffins coming out of the back of a transport aircraft. Soldier like that Aloysius Lim died overseas in New Zealand because of a training accident.
Yeah.
Already flipped half the SAF on his head already.
So, our second news, another voyeurism case. A male Nanyang JC student was suspended after an alleged voyeurism incident in a girls' toilet on campus, and the school made a police report. Report said he was confronted by other students after leaving a cubicle, and the incident spread quickly online because of a video clip and eyewitnesses' account. When confronted, he said that he was studying. What the fuck?
The little fucker actually said he was studying. Well, that is the most unimaginative excuse, you know.
NYJC said it's treated the case seriously, took disciplinary action, and arranged support for students affected by the incident, but the student's conduct grade will be affected, and he has been counseled and referred for further support.
Stupid fucker said he was studying. What are you trying to study in the girls' toilet? Studying? In the girls' toilet? What? The smell of pee releases endorphins and makes you study better, is it? I know A-level is stressful, I went through that myself, but have a bit more convincing an excuse. I'm not that I'm condoning this behavior. I'm not.
But actually, don't you think this is more common than what is being reported? I'm pretty sure, this is not his first rodeo, Yeah, and I do feel that there's a lot more cases that have happened that people don't report or don't even know that it happened.
Ex-classmate of mine in secondary school that he would go to shopping centers and try to upskirt photos of girls. In his words, he called it 钓鱼.
The producer posed the question of what do you think can be done to help the girls, the victims, and what do you think can be done to stop this kind of thing happening? I really don't know because I feel that, okay, let's say you want to give harsher punishment. We give quite harsh punishments for perverts, for this kind of outrage or modesty. I mean, it can be more, but I still think this kind of thing will happen. Yeah, and then I don't know how to advise a girl to you go toilet, you have to be more vigilant. How can you go toilet and be more vigilant, or what? Before you sit down, scan around first, scan around for videos or whatnot. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
As men, it is not right for us to answer this question because we don't know what the girls, the ladies who went through this, how they are feeling. And I think in instances like this, the punishment should be decided by, A, the law, B, the women who are currently the victims or were previously victims of such incidents. Because even if we say we are being fair or just or whatever, it's still from the male perspective, not the female perspective. So
I think if you ask me, the only thing that I would advise is if you are a victim, then don't keep it to yourself. Please either seek professional help or at least talk to a friend about it, and then let them guide you through the process. Okay, so our third news, a sober pool party called Flow State, aimed at those aged 15 and above, was planned for April 18 at a rooftop pool bar in Singapore City Hall. Organised by Party with Mythic, it drew immediate online backlash from netizens and influencers like Dewi Chu, who highlighted safety risks for minors such as adult minglings with teen in bikinis, potential smuggling of alcohol, and opportunities for predator in a club-like setting. Now, facing the criticisms, Organised cancelled the pool party concept, deleted social media posts, and rebranded it as Trivia Nights with Us, with no dancing or events. Now, the venue has distanced itself, stating no contract existed. The event was unauthorized and then requested removal of their branding while reserving legal rights. Now, I want to ask Ten Yang, what are your initial thoughts of this party, and do you think that the concern raised by the influencers are actually correct?
I think when the details of this party was announced, I think the first person to sign up was Amazi.
Whoa! He recently just kena firm at church only. Why you out him and say he going this kind of thing?
The man went to seek asylum in the States. Man went to seek out young girls and then promote his support of pedophilia online.
Do you agree with the concerns raised by the influencers?
I think it was necessary that the event was called out. 15 years old, people might think, kids might think, I'm 15 already, I'm mature. Age of consent in Singapore, I think for girls at least is 16, right? And then for guys it's 18. But I don't think you're actually considered an adult until you're actually 18. What they did actually made sense. They were protecting the younger crowd. I mean, definitely there are some in the younger crowd who were like, boo, I'm mature and everything else. I think for the overall greater good, what these influencers did was necessary.
I don't think any legal or any organizers in the right mind would have said we have cleared this for a 15 years old and above event. Because by right, clubbing this kind is, I don't know, 21 and above? I only heard
18,
of like
18.
But I only heard of like universities that I think after orientation or whatnot, they have this kind of events lah. So to have a 15-year and above event, right? As the organizer, what the fuck are you planning, sia? I don't understand.
Okay,
Like
because
50 years old, like these are kids that haven't even go through O levels. Then you want them to go to this place and supposedly have a good time? I think it's very shady.
Uni can do it because it's a controlled environment, there are chaperones around and so on and so forth lah. Whoever thought this was a good idea obviously wasn't thinking right lah.
And before I move on to the last part, right, I also echo Ten Yang's point that can you imagine this event actually went through and people know that it's a 15-year and above like parties, that the amount of house flies you will attract that like this kind of young girls. And then you can't screen them and say, hey, I know which one is a pervert, I know which one is a pedophile. Then you're just congregating them all in one place, you know. Unless congregating all the Amos E in one place, you know. Are you sure you're ready for the consequence?
Well, that is a lawsuit waiting to happen, you know.
I can't see this going right in any way, lah. But
nope,
okay,
nope.
I'm luckily it's just caught off, lah. Before we end the whole episode, we would like to go with a round of quick fire news for the Alamak meter. The first news. The NUS Faculty of Law team won the 2026 Philippe C. Jessup International Law Moot Court competition in Washington, D.C., defeating over 800 teams to secure their 5th world title, their first in 25 years, marking a historic achievement that highlights both the students' advocacy skill and the strength of NUS law's training and alumni support.
Yeah, that's not low-key smart, that's damn smart.
I agree.
Oh, you win an international competition, first in 25 years against 800 teams. Hey, props to NUS, man.
Second news, a diner at MBS Rice restaurant was surprised to find crocodile feet served at an Australian themed buffet, which featured unusual meats like crocodile and kangaroo as part of their menu. She's familiar with crocodile meat. She found its presentation unusual and the taste overwhelming, describing it as similar to chicken with a fishy smell. And this has also made Rice go viral.
I tried crocodile a couple of times. I actually like it. When it's boiled, it tastes like pork. In the soup, it tastes like pork. When it's stir fried, it tastes like venison. To me. If
you ask me, right, this is smart on the girl's part if she wanted to help the restaurant go viral.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically free advertising. And also, kangaroos, in case y'all didn't know, right? Kangaroos are actually considered a pest animal in Australia because, well, there are just so goddamn many of those fuckers. The public is encouraged to kill them and eat them. So actually, it is a fairly common meat in Australia, and not just for humans, but also for pet consumption.
So the last news, a 49-year-old Malaysian man was arrested at Woodlands checkpoint after attempting to smuggle duty unpaid cigarettes into Singapore by hiding 8 packets inside a loaf of bread placed inside his motorcycle basket. The contraband was discovered during checks by ICA, and the case later referred to Singapore Customs went viral online after photos showed the cigarettes concealed between slices of bread.
That's low-key smart. My friend showed me the article. I was like, yo, ICA is always trying to find ways, people trying to smuggle in things and what's not. Cigarettes, drugs, and other associated items. Yo, this is the first guy can say, wait, what were you sent to jail for? I was sent to jail for stealing, or sent to jail for molestation. Oh, I was sent to jail because I tried to smuggle in cigarettes and a loaf of bread. Bro! Simultaneously stupid, yet low-key smart.
That was our Lao Jiaos Podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please remember to like and subscribe. If the episode comes out every Friday, at the same time, we have the football kaki that drops every Wednesday, and our Cool People show where we interview fun and amazing guests from around Singapore every Monday. Now, we hope that everyone has a great week ahead, but remember,
we don't always talk show,
but sometimes we do.
Bye!